A discourse community is a group of people who speak the same language. It could be our football team, people gathered at a coffee shop, or individuals that like to get together and play World of Warcraft. But what are the discourse communities of academia? In math, we have basic mathematics. There's also algebra. Then it moves into pre-calculus and calculus. The language and subject matter and conceptions become more complicated. But all of these are subcategories of the discourse community of math. Language seems to be key for all discourse communities, and it's unique for each one. Think about the conversations that you have in anthropology. The images that you would see compared to what you'd see in a math textbook. The textbooks and the genres used amongst different disciplines have differences and similarities that are important to note for learning. Every day we are bombarded with the language and subject knowledge associated with a variety of discourse communities and their genres. Language is key. Each discourse community consists of language and words that spiral around us to reflect the subject matter. Over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle instructed students to become well-rounded individuals. They studied all the fields. Students at that time were required to study across the disciplines. They were required to take philosophy, anthropology, to read the great works of literature, to write extensively, to argue and debate in public. And the 2-year program of core courses at Boise State mimics this. We want students to have a broad base before they go on to their discipline. So how can this help you? How can having a meta-awareness of the movement into different discourse communities help you be successful here at Boise State? I want you to understand this because 10% of all freshmen at Boise State graduate in 4 years. And yes, that number is correct, only 10%. Where do students spend their time? What discourse communities do they place an emphasis on? How can I help you be part of that 10% of successful graduates? And how can we increase that number beyond 10%? Over the next 4 years, you'll have plenty of opportunities to engage in a variety of discourse communities, and as well you should. So you need to decide where you spend your time as a student and a learner. What discourse communities are most important to you, and how are you going to find balance in your life? How can you use this knowledge of moving into and amongst discourse communities in academia so that you can be a more focused individual and use your time more efficiently and also be successful in your learning?